What's up? How are y'all doing, my beautiful brothers and sisters? Welcome, Earth signs. Yahoo! Welcome, my beautiful brothers and sisters, fellow radiators of love, to Astro Fenixx, flying into the moment yet again and radiating love as always. And welcome, fellow Earth signs. Welcome, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn, to this end of 2019 recap video and reading. We're going to be pulling mostly cards and talking a little bit about the astrology to see, how has 2019 been for you? What did you learn? What were some of the tests? What were some of the challenges? And what are the energies you're carrying with you into the new year, into the new decade, into this new freaking portal? 2020 portal is here. This is going to be for all Earth signs, predominantly if you have your sun in Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn. However, if you want to cross-watch and check your rising signs or your moon sign, or your Mars or Venus, Mercury, whatever, but this is going to be predominantly for your sun sign if you have your sun in Earth. Let's start things off. We got the card of change. Change. We have the card of change. The number is 12. 1 plus 2 equals 3, which in numerology is actually the number of Sagittarius and Jupiter energy. And interesting enough, Jupiter has just slipped into Capricorn. So we have the frequency of change supports our ability to gracefully dance with the forever changing nature of reality, both inward and outward, so that we can appreciate the sweet release of the old and the birth of the new. As you can see with this card, it's comprised of circles and squares, and they're kind of like interlocking within each other. And this year is definitely, certainly a huge year of change for you guys. Let me tell you, you guys have the South Node, and Pluto and Saturn, and now Jupiter and Venus in Capricorn. So, this is a huge freaking deal, Taurus, this is your 9th house. Virgo, this is your 5th house. Capricorn, this is your house. So not only that, but we have Uranus now in Taurus, and it's going to be here for the next 6 to 7 years. And Uranus is this planet of change, of shaking things up. It's this planet of revolutionizing things. So when you have the planet of revolution and rebellion in the most stable sign of the zodiac in Taurus, there's definitely going to be some change, and you all have definitely felt it this year. So change is certainly on the menu and has been on the menu for you all throughout this 2019. Let's see what else we have going on. I'm going to draw another oracle card for you guys from the Answer is Simple Oracle deck. Let's see what else we have going on here. What are the cards we have going on? What are some other energies? Uh-oh. We have the card of clean up your mess. Uh-oh. Earth signs, have y'all been not picking up after yourself? Have y'all been playing with your toys and then leaving your room all messy? You have Legos over here, you got Hot Wheels over here, or you have dolls over here. You haven't quite cleaned up. You began to play house, but you didn't put everything back into the house and, put it in the closet a neat fashion way. No, it's just saying to clean up your mess. And I think this coming after the card of change. The number is 37. 3 plus 7 is 10, which is related to the Taurus vibe, and the earth energy is the energy of manifestation. So cleaning up your mess, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn, this is definitely a year where you feel like you probably have been kind of cleaning up your mess. You probably have been cleaning up some of these pockets within your life that haven't exactly been, you're not exactly where you want to be. And you've been using this year as a sort of damage control kind of year. And that kind of makes sense, A lot of this mess is definitely coming up because the South Node is in Capricorn. So Taurus, Virgo, this energy has been training you, which has been allowing these sort of these grand opportunities to heal this area. But you know, Capricorn, of course, this is in your sign, so there's a lot of like past life stuff that's coming up. So some of you guys may be confronting shadows from your past, and it's time for you to clean up. But look at this. He's created like these beautiful, beautiful pieces of art. He has the rabbit there, he has the bird and the squirrel there. But you know, after you trim the hedges, you do have to clean up. It's like one of my pet peeves is when I see people mow the yard and then they leave all of the excess grass like on the sidewalk and stuff, and they don't blow it away and stuff. It just looks tacky. So maybe earth signs, you've been feeling kind of tacky in your life. Maybe it's like you have been mowing the yard and stuff like that, but you haven't quite blown away all the grass yet. So it does kind of look tacky and stuff like that. So you're dealing with that sort of energy too in conjunction with the change. Let's see what we have for your animal messenger though. Let's see what we got for the animal messenger card. Your animal messenger card, interesting enough, is actually the sloth, totem animal of Scorpio. Consider the smallness of your needs and treasure what you possess. Consider the smallness of your needs and treasure what you possess. I think this card, in conjunction with these other oracle cards here, what it's saying, I think the clean up your mess part is actually, in a sense, you simplifying your life, maybe downsizing. You know, Earth signs, maybe you have taken on so much in the past, and you've actually used this year to kind of hone in on and to focus on what it is that you truly value, what it is that you truly treasure in your life. So this doesn't mean that you haven't had a busy 2019. I think what the sloth here is saying that one of the things that you've been having to learn is to kind of cut away the fat and to kind of get right down to the good stuff, to get down to that good lean meat. Or if you're vegan, you know, I'm sorry if you don't like that metaphor, but that's the metaphor we're gonna go with. Okay, you're trimming off some of the fat. You've been trimming off some of this fat this year. With this being a totem animal of Scorpio, Taurus, this is your 7th house. So this is dealing with your relationships. So Taurus, you may have found yourself this year, you know, really trying to figure out what is it in relationships that you truly do value. And maybe you don't necessarily need the person to, and of course it's nice to always be taken out on a nice date or to do something fun and everything like that. But maybe you realize that you don't necessarily need your partner to be a 6-figure earner. You know, maybe you just want someone that treats you well, right? Someone who respects you and appreciates you. Someone that makes a damn good meal for you all. I mean, earth signs, if you want to know the key to an earth sign's heart, especially Taurus, make them a good freaking meal. Make them a good freaking meal. And like, that sounds kind of surface level, but I'm telling you, when you make someone that you love a good meal, or you just cook for them in general, there's the love that goes into that makes it that much better. Virgo, this Scorpio for you, of course, is the 3rd house. So this is dealing with your mental faculties in your mind. So you have been what you have been doing, Virgo, is that you have been kind of honing your mind in on what's really important to focus on, and what sort of extraneous, external doubts and anxieties and worries that you have, or maybe other people might have been projecting this onto you, and figure out what it is that really needs to be trimmed away. You know, Virgo, your thought process can be going it's kind of like Gemini. It's going like whoop, 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 whoop. To have the 3rd house in Scorpio, that's the thing that people don't understand about Virgo, is that the reason why Virgo has so much information and knowledge and why they know a lot of stuff is because they have the 3rd house of Scorpio. So they think deeply. Virgos naturally think deeply. They are some of the biggest philosophers of life, but also they can have very, very, very dark thoughts. So Virgo, this is time for you to really heal your thought process. Let me turn this down just a tad. And then, of course, for Capricorn, this for you was your 11th house. So Capricorn, what you have been dealing with is that, considering the card of the sloth, considering the smallness of your needs and treasuring what you possess, you are finding the people that you're surrounding yourself with, your friends, the collective, your colleagues. Who is it in your life that truly values you, and who is it that truly does treasure you? Because you bring so many gifts to the table. Capricorn, y'all have been through a hell of a year. I mean, several of you guys, of course, are going through a Saturn return. Pluto's there, Saturn is there, the South Node is there. It's been intense. We have some benefics there now with Venus and Jupiter, but they don't really like to be in Capricorn. So it's giving some positive energy. You're finally starting to feel that at the tail end of this year, but otherwise, it's been kind of freaking gnarly for the Capricorns. Like I said, especially when it comes to like, the friends, the people that they associate with. This has been a year of you kind of trimming the fat and realizing that, kind of take things slow and to not get caught up in too much of the hype of it all, and not too caught up in the status of it all. You may find yourself connecting with people that you thought were going to, just by knowing them, give you some sort of status, whatever like that. But maybe these things haven't worked out. Maybe they have worked out, but perhaps you're realizing that, it's not necessarily how deep their pockets go financially. That's also a good thing. But if they don't value you as a person, then you're realizing that this year, or over the course of the year, you have been doing work to kind of trim the fat and trim this out of your life. So let's get into some more of the cards to see what else is going on for the Earth signs for 2019. Let's see what we got going on here. Can I get some cards for the Earth signs, for Taurus, for Virgo, for Capricorn? What do we have? What energies are we playing with? Moon is in Taurus too as I make this video, so getting ready for this full moon in Gemini. Let's see what do we have going on. And of course, Earth signs, you guys we all are going to experience these major eclipses in Capricorn and in Cancer. The first, of course, that will come will be the new moon solar eclipse in Capricorn. Capricorn is your first house. Virgo is your fifth house. Taurus, that's your ninth house. Some major changes coming to your life. Earth signs. Let's see what cards we have going on for you. All right, so the bottom of the deck, we actually have the King of Wands. So some of you guys maybe have been dealing with fire signs a great deal of the year. Very prominent fire signs. This could be family members. This could be a boss. This could be a lover or partner. We have the Nine of Swords in reverse. We have the King of Pentacles upright. This is you, by the way. We have the Seven of Swords reverse. And we have Temperance upright. So this is interesting. It's a little similar to the fire signs, but for you guys, this is what's going on, all right? So we have the Nine of Swords starting off this part of the reading. And with it being in reverse, this is actually the ending of any type of fear and anxiety. When it's upright, that's when we're kind of closed off to the world. We're closed off to experience. We're closed off to wanting to really express ourselves. We're getting caught up in our mind. With it being reverse, the universe is saying you have nothing really to worry about because you truly are opulent in and of yourself. With the King of Pentacles here, this is you. This is you, Earth signs. Of course, you're a queen too. I'm just saying, king or queen, whatever you want to call yourself, god, goddess, sorcerer. This is you. You are the King of Pentacles, meaning that when it comes to making these decisions, the king makes decisions, right? Queens make decisions too, but the king makes the major decisions, right? This is a card of Taurus too. Think about it. You can see the bulls hanging around him too. This is talking about making these decisions that are very much so grounded in stability, and it's about having that long-term focus and vision. So it's like once you drop these anxieties and these worries, you're going to come more into this King of Pentacles energy where you're going to be feeling stable. You're going to be feeling like you can really move forward. Just looking more at the card, just seeing like, as Ralph Smart would say, you can wake up with a bunch of grapes in your mouth. He has them all over his all over his robe here. But you can't wake up with a bunch of grapes in your mouth. Now, we have the Seven of Swords in reverse. You remember when I was talking about cleaning up your mess and trimming away some of the fat? The Seven of Swords is saying that, you know, there have been certain deceptions that you have dealt with over the past few years, and this was a year where you are now releasing this. You're releasing it. You're releasing it. And we got the card of Temperance here too. So this is talking, what you're alchemizing is this energy right here. You're alchemizing the anxieties and worries that you have within your mind that are holding you back, that are keeping you in bed, that don't allow you to spring out of bed in the morning because you're so excited for life. And then the Seven of Swords energy, you can be feeling like you might have been robbed of a situation. But with it being reversed, it's like all your enemies are falling away. Any enemies that actually are still here are just within your own mind. They're just within your own mind. So there's a lot of mental alchemy that's going on here. And then, like I said, we have the King of Wands. You can see that there's a lizard there, and the lizard is representative of transformation, but also regeneration. So Earth signs, you may have been feeling like your tail got cut off, but your tail can grow back. And what's even weirder is that some of these serpents, stuff like that, they can get their head chopped off, but they can regenerate them as well. So there has been this aspect within all of Earth signs' lives where something has been chopped off, but you have the power to regenerate it. So let's just say you lost a relationship. You have the power to regenerate that, but regenerate that energy into a new, more healthy, more stable relationship, someone who is more compatible with you. Right? It just takes time. You have to learn how to be stable on your own and within your own self, within your own group. If this is a job, you may have lost a job or something like that. Now you're going to be regenerating a new job. You're going to be transforming into another position where you actually have a job that allows you to spring out of bed and actually you feel super excited to get going and move forward. This can also deal with, this can do with your health as well. This can do with many aspects of life. This can do with your health. Maybe you haven't had the healthiest regimen, but over the course of this year and going into next year, you are going to be committing yourself to really regenerating your body so you can feel better in your skin, so you can feel better within this vessel, and so you can actually utilize this incredible technology that we have to the best of its ability, because the greatest technology on earth is this, is the body, and everything in it, the heart, the brain, all of the nerves, the skin, all of these extremities, the energy that flows throughout this vessel. This is our greatest technology. It's not the computer, it's not the phone, it's not the tripod I'm doing this on, okay? Although these things are great, but the body is the most important piece of technology that we have. Let's see what other cards we have. I'm going to cut the deck real fast here. Interesting. The fire signs also got this card. We got the card of the Hanged Man, and it's also, reverse here too. So there seems to be some sort of lack of faith and trust in the universe here. I'm going to cut the deck again just to see what exactly that's about. Okay, there's something going on with the earth and fire signs here, unless I just didn't shuffle the deck well. But we got the Ten of Pentacles in reverse. So there's been this lack of faith in the fact that you can really manifest that dream life that you want, so you can have that sort of happily ever after. I think what happens a lot of times is that we may achieve multiple happily ever afters in this life, but I feel like the moment that we achieve that is almost sort of like the moment where we die, in a sense. And that sounds crazy and morbid. That's my Scorpio coming out. But the reason I say this is because when you achieve that happily ever after, it's almost like you can't evolve anymore. There's nothing more really for you to experience. There's no more challenges. There's no more growth. So I feel like what's happening here, Earth signs, is that there's some much needed change in your life, because if you have achieved a sort of happily ever after or a goal, maybe you got stuck. Maybe you achieved something earlier on in the year and you haven't really progressed upon it. So maybe that's what this is. Maybe you've kind of robbed yourself of achieving more this year, or maybe you kind of was like in your own mind thinking that you needed to do more and stuff like that. And maybe you just didn't do as much as you thought you were going to do. And honestly, this probably goes for everybody. I think everyone goes into New Year's with ambitions and goals and resolutions and all this stuff. And we achieve some things, but we probably don't get everything done on the list. That's because we're really fucking hard to satisfy. It's really hard to satisfy ourselves. So I almost want to tell you guys to just sort of disregard this whole notion of resolutions and, you know, reform and stuff like that, but just to really focus on, you know, your smile and what really wakes you up in the morning and what gets you excited, because we all are going to have goals and set ambitions for ourselves and want to achieve them. And earth signs are some of the most patient when it comes to manifesting those things. But when it doesn't go your way, y'all definitely can just have no problem sitting in the field somewhere, sniffing flowers or eating grass or reading a book and just not really giving a fuck. Y'all, it's like if something doesn't necessarily go the way an earth, like once the patience of an earth sign breaks, they can easily just sit down and just down a whole bag of potato chips in one setting because they're just like, oh, well, you know, whatever. So, you know, this is about kind of reestablishing some of that faith and realizing that this whole 10 of Pentacles energy is something that can come from the inside, not outside. I think that's even why it's reverse. I think of reverse cards almost like as retrograde, and it's going back in, whereas forward is like it's like the energy is more protruding out, and retrograde it's going back in. So it's about realizing your value from within. You're realizing your value from within. So let me get these cards. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a few more cards here. We're going to draw a card for the main challenges that you have experienced in 2019, the growth that you experienced in 2019, and the sort of resolution of these growth and the bridging energy into 2020. So those are the next cards I'm going to draw for you all. So let's get these out. Let's see what we got going on for the earth signs, for Taurus, for Virgo, for Capricorn. And like I said, guys, these are general readings. So, you know, it's not everything in here is not going to apply to you. If it applies, cool. If it doesn't, cool. Just take what works and leave what doesn't. Okay. Bridging energy into the 2020 energy, the 2020 portal. We actually have the Queen of Pentacles. The Queen of Pentacles. The Queen joins her King. Very good. So, some of your main challenges when it came to this year, we actually have the card of the Moon. So your main challenges were actually emotions, reactions, dealings with family members, inheritances maybe. The Moon card here is saying that some of your main challenges, and I think this is the reason why the Queen of Pentacles came up too, you have been dealing with your sort of internal world and ruminating on your internal world, probably trying to figure out what seeds you really want to plant. I want to see what the growth card is though. Oh, the growth card. We actually have the card of Judgment. That's interesting as this sort of card. So I think the resolution here is that now you're starting to make the right judgment calls. Whereas before, you know, you were definitely getting more mixed up into your emotions and stuff. And all signs are emotional, of course, right? Sometimes earth signs can hide it, especially you, Capricorn. But, you know, you're learning to now make the right judgment calls in your life and to not be entirely swayed by your emotions. Now, you want to follow your emotional guidance system, but at the same time, you want to have a deeper emotional awareness so you're just not like hyper reacting to things. And other times you don't normally do this anyways. I just think with this being the challenge card, you might have been doing more of that lately, probably because every time that the moon went into Taurus, which is where the moon is exalted, it's had to conjunct Taurus. Every time that the moon has gone into Capricorn, it's had to conjunct the South Node, Pluto, and Saturn. we had energies in Virgo early throughout the year, but they're not there anymore. But Virgo was still getting these influences and was getting trine. So perhaps Virgos have been able to make judgment calls a little bit easier than Taurus and Capricorn, but it still applies to where the moon going through these signs, it hasn't necessarily been the easiest. Not that these planets are bad, it's just that these are some pretty intense influences to deal with. So it's been making you naturally a little bit more reactive. Definitely a connection with the fire signs because we have the card of justice. Justice is going to be served. I think it's similar to the fire signs here. You are making judgment calls, and now justice is about to be served in a sense. Rights or wrongs are going to be made right. Even rights may even be made wrong. Maybe something was deemed as right, and now people are going to finally see that something is wrong. Maybe some of you have been, just an example, maybe you might be in a relationship and the other person may be, toxic. I hate that word. But maybe you're in a relationship and it's not necessarily a stable and nice relationship. And it's like you have been making it right for such a long time, saying that it's right, saying that it's right. This justice card is saying that no, it actually is wrong and it's okay for it to be wrong. Maybe you are in a job that you don't care for and you've been trying to make your job right. It's okay for that job to be wrong for you. It's actually okay for a situation that you've been telling yourself is right to not necessarily be right. So it's okay. So the justice card goes both ways. It goes both ways with this energy. And then, of course, like I said, we do have the Queen of Pentacles coming in here, joining her king in this energy. So you have the masculine aspect of the earth energy, of the exaltation of the earth energy when it comes to how we express it. And then you have the internal energy, the maternal energy with the Queen of Pentacles. You can see there is a goat there, there's a billy goat there, there's a rabbit there. So there's definitely a great deal of abundance in learning, balancing these aspects, balancing the masculine and the feminine within us so we can, create this whole new beautiful masterpiece, this whole beautiful picture. I really don't know how else to describe our earth signs. I think this has been a year for you to where you have been kind of trimming away at what hasn't worked. And I guess you could say that this metaphor applies to all signs, but you especially earth signs, this has been a year of like slowing down, but simultaneously speeding up. Slowing down so you can see kind of where you are and making the necessary cuts and making the right judgment calls and learning how to respond to your external stimuli in a healthier fashion. Because when you respond to it in a not so healthy fashion, you may find yourself in situations where you're feeling that Nine of Swords energy, you're feeling that Seven of Swords energy, but really everything else around these cards is beautiful. And it's saying that, that beauty can be had and experienced. You just have to be willing to open up and make that change in your life. I'm being called to draw one more card for you guys. We have the card of the Hermit. This card is ruled by Virgo. We have the card of the Hermit. So going within and finding your own inner light, not having the need to follow anyone else, but your own truth and your own guidance. That's going to do it for the earth signs. I hope that you all enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. And earth signs, be sure to check out all of my other videos and content. Make sure you click the bell to receive all of those notifications. More than likely, I will be doing the Astrology is Now podcast sometime tomorrow evening. It'll probably be late, and I'll probably just be a recording. So, you may, if you happen to be up, you may catch that. If anything, you may catch it Wednesday morning, but that'll come up. But this is going to be it for the recap review, the recap reading for all earth signs, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. Like I said, this pertains mostly to your sun sign. However, if you want to check your rising or your moon or whatever, or if you want to check the sign of your loved ones or friends and colleagues, you are more than welcome to do so. I love you all so much. Y'all have a wonderful rest of your day. And as always, my beautiful brothers and sisters, always remember to keep moving forward, to stay focused, and Yahoo! Smile often. Peace.